Look at these publications that you see on the screen, abstracts presented in international meetings worldwide. Maybe you want to do residency in a competitive program. Maybe you want to go to another country, apply for a PhD. Can you imagine how much easier it will be to get there with high impact publications such as these? Believe me, I've been frustrated and disappointed in trying to find research mentors in my career. And I want to show you a different method by which you can get mentors. There's a specific research method that you can apply in your career that will give you results, that you can do it independently. You can develop an idea, work on it, and even draft the paper. This will open doors of mentorship for you in your institution and beyond.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It's also more than that. The Meta-Analysis Academy is a community of doctors and medical students who have this mindset that they not only want to get publications done, of course that will happen, but they also have this mindset of excellence, of wanting more. So it's these two things. It's the ability to get research done, and it's an environment that will provide the excellence that you look for in your career. Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of the publication roadmap. So happy to have you all here. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I hope you enjoyed day 1 of the publication roadmap, but today we have a lot more to discuss. Again, don't forget to invite your colleagues, your friends to participate with us in this really important session. You're going to learn about research groups, you're going to learn about mentorship, you're going to learn about writing papers today. We're going to have classes 4, 5, 6, and 7 today of the publication roadmap. This is the last day of our 2-day webinar. So again, I'm super excited to do this with you guys, and we're going to get right to it because we do have a lot to discuss here today. So let's get started. Hope you guys can see my screen okay. Now, we're going to talk today about these 4 topics. We're going to start with class number 4. The Meta Master Goal. I'm going to explain to you guys the meaning of 3003. Then we're going to talk about research groups and our experts program with Dr. Maisa Vilbert, who's our director of the experts program. We're going to talk about scientific writing. You're going to learn fundamental principles today of writing your papers and manuscripts. This is going to be helpful to you throughout your entire career. And then we're going to recap the whole thing. So I'm going to start off with the first class, and I want to thank our director, Lucas Caetano, who helped me prepare this class. Lucas is Director of Student Success in the Meta-Analysis Academy. He is a medical student, and he learned the Meta-Analysis Academy, and he himself published his first author, Meta-Analysis in important journals. So we're going to get started here with explaining to you about what this means, the 3003. Yesterday, guys, we talked about all these barriers of doing research. Oh, I don't have mentors. I can't find ideas. I don't know how to start. You know, I send a project to the ethics committee and it stays there 3 months without any advancement. I don't have time. I don't have statistical knowledge. All these things hold you back, especially your environment, especially the lack of people around you that are doing impactful research that serve as an inspiration to you. You know, you have to know that it's possible so that you can achieve it as well. The environment that you're in is one of the most important things in your success and your ability to publish high impact papers. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about here in this first class, is how you will find, actually, first and second class, how you will find a group of people in the Meta-Analysis Academy, or a group of people that will actually help you to achieve your goals, not hold you back. People that will help you, that will push you forward. So guys, let's talk about how you can achieve this as well. Okay, just like yesterday, we talked about how you need to see that it's possible to achieve your career goals with these publications. Today, the first 20 minutes of our class is about seeing it. It's about believing it. So let's get right to it. Remember, the name of the game here is autonomy in research. That's what we're looking for with meta-analysis. There are other highly relevant methods of research, like, for example, randomized controlled trials. But the problem is, as a medical student in India, in Pakistan, in Chile, in Europe, like wherever you are in the world, it's going to be really hard for you to participate in a randomized controlled trial. You may not have access to that. You need a lot of money to do that. You need a lot of time to do that. But with a meta-analysis, you can publish high-impact papers from all those countries in the world, wherever you are, as long as you have internet connection. So that's exactly what we're going to discuss here today. It's autonomy to do your own publications, okay? So, guys, we actually finished counting the numbers of publications from our students, including the month of February. We did this just yesterday. So the numbers of publications of our students are updated. Now we're at 623 participations in publications, not in abstracts. This is a typo on the screen. It's not abstracts. These are PubMed publications from our students. And remember, all of them are verifiable. You guys can go to PubMed and check out all the publications that I showed you yesterday that I'm showing you today. All of these are students from the Meta-Analysis Academy, like yourself, who is going to join today, who had no prior research experience. You don't need any prior research experience. I'll show you some examples here. This year is Laís Santana. She's just in her second year of medical school. She's starting out, but she joined the Meta-Analysis Academy. She learned how to do this with autonomy. She met good people there like Jordana, like João Paulo, and others. And now she published as first author in Neurocritical Care. This is a top-ranking journal in the field of neurology and intensive care. Neurointensive care. She published about machine learning algorithms to prevent delayed cerebral ischemia after subarachnoid hemorrhage. This is a systematic review and meta-analysis. Laís, in her beginning of her medical school, is first author. Rafael was a fourth-year med student, and in his own words, just translated here, he said he had no prior research experience. He could not even interpret a study. He didn't know well what a confidence interval or what a p-value was. And then just 1 year after joining our program, look what he has accomplished. This is just what's already published in PubMed. I'm sure he has multiple other projects underway. So Rafael has 2 publications as first author, 4 publications as co-authors, and 15 abstracts. This is within 1 year, guys. I'm actually going to find Rafael here so you guys can listen to this guy because it's an inspiration. How is it, in your own words, that it was possible for you to, within 1 year, to have 3 manuscripts published, indexed in PubMed, and then 15 abstracts presented in global conferences?
Before I joined the Meta-Analysis Academy course, I had zero experience in research, like below zero. I knew nothing. And I even tried, especially here in Brazil, we experienced like a boom in med schools and an increasing number of, recently graduated doctors. And I always had this idea in mind, like what I can do to really stand out and distinguish myself from everybody. And I, when I realized that research was a good strategy and a good option, I did what every med student does. And I sent an email to my professor, and he was teaching like cardiac physiology at the time. And, we talked a little bit, and he said to me like, oh, I'm going to put you in a group in his lab, and you're going to stay in this group for like 6 months. I think I lasted like two weeks, and then I quit. I hope no one from the lab is seeing this right now, but it was really boring. And that was when I had the opportunity to, enter the Meta-Analysis Academy course.
So look at what he accomplished, guys, during this time. Look at this publication from Rafael. Surgical versus non-surgical treatment of flail chest, published in the European Journal of Emergency Surgery. Continuous glucose monitoring systems in insulin-treated patients with type 2 diabetes, a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials, published in Diabetes Technology. This journal here has a high impact factor of 7. So you guys, can you imagine a method that allows someone with no prior research experience to publish this much within 1 year as first author? That's the power of the Meta-Analysis Academy. This is Vanessa. She recently graduated medical school. So if you are a recent graduate and you're struggling to get research, this is for you, the Meta-Analysis Academy. She had no publications, all of medical school, no publications. And then she joined our program, and look what happened. First author publication in a high-ranking journal in pediatrics called Neonatology, okay? She's also now a research fellow. How did she get this research fellow? Through connections, through publications, through having a good CV. She's a research fellow at the Department of Cardiology at the Mayo Clinic, you know? So this is her publication in Neonatology. This is her pretty office here in Minnesota as a research fellow. Now, you may think that this is not for your specialty. Oh, I'm interested in orthopedics or dermatology or psychiatry. But let me tell you now, this is for every single field in medicine, all different specialties, and actually beyond in healthcare, nursing, whatever area that in medicine and in healthcare related, you will be able to publish meta-analysis. Look at some of the publications of our students in cardiology, and I'm going to show you in general surgery, and then here in oncology, and I could go on in neurology and neurosurgery, and here's in psychiatry, nephrology, endocrinology, anesthesia, obstetrics, radiology, there's more, orthopedics, dermatology, ear, nose, and throat, otolaryngology, pediatrics, hepatology, pulmonology, and I could go on and on and on. So don't think that this just happens in anesthesia or just in neurology or just in cardiology. It's really for all different specialties. And now it's your turn to do this as well. All these publications I showed you were of people that follow the same publication roadmap that I showed you yesterday. They learn how to do statistics. They learn how to do the writing. You're going to learn about writing today. Class number 6 today is about scientific writing. So you're going to learn about how to write introduction, how to write methods, results, discussions in your papers. You can learn how to do this with autonomy, without having to rely on anyone else. Look at the number of abstracts presentations we have from our students. Again, we updated our numbers yesterday through the month of February. You know, we were at 1,058 in January, and now we're at 1,154. There were more than 70 participations of our students, almost 100 actually, participations just in the month of February alone. So these are some of our students presenting worldwide. Endocrine Society in Chicago, largest global meeting in endocrinology. International Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecology in Paris. Multiple of our students presented there. This is in the European Society of Cardiology. This is in Amsterdam last year. So whatever your specialty is, in the largest meetings in the world on your specialties, meta-analysis will help you get there. And you may even win an award. This is an award from Carlos at the American Hernia Society in Texas. This is for Luisa, best oral presentation in the Brazilian Surgery Congress. This is for Jonathan and his group, including Maisa, who you will meet in a little bit, best poster at the European Society for Medical Oncology. Sarah won best poster at the World Congress on Regional Anesthesia in Paris. And there's so many more. So guys, no matter what country you're from, no matter what area of interest you have, whether it's surgical, clinical, ophthalmology, whatever it is, no matter what country, no matter your prior research experience, you can achieve this as well. Okay, so what's this 3003, the title of the talk? Right now, if you add up the number of participations in abstracts and papers, our students have 1,700. Well, that math is clearly wrong. Sorry about that. So 1,700 1,700 participations of our students in abstracts presented in global conferences and publications in PubMed. So this is only within 1 year and a half or so since we graduated the first class, almost 2 years. But our goal since the very beginning has been to achieve 3,000 in 3 years. So we are now at about 1,800. 1,800, and we need to get to 3,000 within 1 year. So in this year of 2024, we're going to super escalate our productivity. We're going to give all the support to our students. We're going to have tutoring sessions, the Meta Writer program, the Experts program, all the support that we need, that you need to help us achieve our goal. That's our goal. And if you want to join us to help us, help the team, help the Meta-Analysis Academy community to work towards this goal of 3,000 publications and abstracts presented from our students in 3 years, you are welcome to join the Meta-Analysis Academy. We would be so happy to have you to help us achieve this goal. And of course, we'll help you too. Your publications are part of our goal. So that's a quick class on our Meta Master goal of 3,003. You are now going to listen from Dr. Maisa Wilbert, who is an oncologist. I'm going to bring her in right now. Maisa Wilbert was a student in the first cohort of the Meta-Analysis Academy. She's an oncologist, graduated at one of the largest cancer hospitals in the US. She's done research in Toronto in oncology after finishing her oncology fellowship. She's now in the United States in Boston, where she does a research fellowship at Massachusetts General Hospital. Remember, guys, the publication roadmap is not affiliated with the institutions where I work and where Maisa works. So I'm very happy to introduce her. She is a friend. She's been leading the Experts program since the second edition of the program. So she's going to explain to you guys all about research groups and the Experts program. Thank you so much for joining. It's an honor to have you here with us in the Publication Roadmap Day 2.
Hi everybody. Thank you so much, Anderson. It's such a pleasure to be here. And especially, I'm going to talk about my favorite topic, that is the Experts program. So let's get started. I will pass this first slide. And welcome everybody. I'm so happy to be here. And for us to start talking a little bit about the Experts program, I will share with you some things about my own journey. So this is so to start, I am a medical oncologist, as Randerson said, and I'm currently doing research at Mass General Hospital. And I was an expert in the second edition of the Meta-Analysis Academy course, and these are my students, the students from Meta-Analysis Academy that apply for the Experts program and join the oncology group. And I met them in Madrid, in Spain. So this is me, and I met them in the European Society Medical Oncology Conference last year. This is a huge conference with more than 30,000 participants and more than 2,000 abstracts, and each one of them had a poster as first author. So let's go some years back, a few years ago, how everything started. As you know, I am a medical oncologist, but I didn't have a lot of publications. During my medical school, during my residency training, I didn't have institutional support, and I didn't know how to do research. So I had 0 articles in PubMed until about 2021, let's say. But I liked the research, and I knew I wanted to publish. I knew I wanted to learn how to do research, and I was very applied to write case reports. I did 2 retrospective cohort studies, and I got some publications in Brazil, but I had no articles in PubMed, and I got a few citations, but just locally. And when I see when I saw people presenting their work in international and global conferences, I remember thinking, oh, how cool it is. One day I want to do this. One day, maybe I will also be able to participate and present my own work. But it's so hard to do research, especially if you are from a lower middle income country, and it may take me years to come up with a good idea. And besides that, it's also expensive. You need statistical support, you need networking. And at that time, even though I was moving from my internal medicine residency to my medical oncology fellowship, I didn't know how to speak English. So what could I do? And I decided that I need to do something. I needed to take action, and if that was my dream, I need to take action and change my world and change things. And then first I learned English, and then I moved to Toronto, where I stayed for 2 years working at the University of Toronto, and I joined the first cohort of students at Meta-Analysis Academy. And I was very dedicated during all the course. I attended all 10 classes. I did all the lab exercises. I learned how to have an idea and how to do statistics, and finally how to write a paper in English. And by the end of the Meta-Analysis Academy course, I had my own meta-analysis, and I submitted it to a global international conference. I remember I took this photo. It was about the class number 8 or 9 in April 24. And after that, I went to Paris to present my first meta-analysis. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity and for everything I learned from Henderson. And that is my own journey. And if I made it, I'm absolutely sure that you can also make it. And right now, and then your journey begins right now. And let's talk a little bit how you can enjoy your journey within the Meta-Analysis Academy, talking a little bit about the Experts program. So the Experts program is a fantastic program within the Meta-Analysis Academy, where we match our students with experts, specialists from several specialties. And it's a great opportunity, not only to do research and achieve publications, but also an opportunity for mentoring, for teamwork, and for networking. And last season, in the last edition, we had experts, specialists in more than 30 medical fields, including cardiology, dermatology, endocrinology, critical care, internal medicine, neurology, several experts from surgical areas like general surgery, cardiovascular surgery, oncological surgery, and plastic surgery also. So any specialty that you may be interested, we had in our program. And here, just to share, so we had a lot of experts, many experts, and I will just cite some of them because we wouldn't have time enough to go over all of them. So these are some of the experts from Brazil and from the United States. We had experts in interventional cardiology, vascular surgery, radiology, neurology, endoscopy, and gastroenterology. And not only our experts are not only from Brazil and the United States. We have, in fact, indeed, we have experts from all over the world. For example, Dr. Rafael Ayala, who is a cardiovascular surgeon in Germany. We had Renan Colombari, a general surgeon in Spain. Fahad Alabaz, a hematology in Saudi Arabia. Chris Philippi, who is a OB-GYN. She completed her training in Ireland, but she's now in the US. And Sarah Amaral, who is an anesthesiologist, and she is from Portugal, but is currently in Brazil. And we also had Alicia, who is a psychiatry from Poland. So these are just some examples where we also had experts from Canada, from Chile, from UK. We have several many experts. And how does the program work? You have already seen this schedule. This is the schedule of the course. So I wanna show you here. After the first 4 classes, you will learn how to have an idea, how to build a research question, how to test the viability, and how to build a search strategy. And after acquiring this knowledge, you will be able to apply for our program. So let's say you are very interested in neurology and you want to work with the neurologist expert. So after learning how to do it, you will work and build an idea in neurology to apply for his team and to have his mentoring in developing your own idea. And here are some of the messages that I received from experts and from students. For example, in this first, an expert group just had a paper published, and the experts sent me the message, thank you so much for all the opportunities you've been giving me in the Meta-Analysis Academy. You guys are seriously changing my work. And another expert in the second message, after she reviewed the applications, the student applications, she sent me a message that she has completed choosing her students, and she wants to thank me again for the opportunity to be part of this program. It's really a honor, and it was really nice. Another thing that is not in this slide is how impressive our experts were with our students, with the ideas, with the applications, and how much effort, how much work they put in to really find a really nice idea. It was the experts, but by the end of the process, the experts were really happy and excited to work with the students and how great were the students' idea. And in the third message, it is from a student texting me after he received the notification that he was chosen by the oncology expert group. And then the program begins. Here are some pictures of the meetings with the experts and the students. All meetings are virtual and they happen in a weekly basis. So they are virtual, happen on a weekly basis, and they put together people from everywhere, from the whole world, to work, focus in ideas, in meta-analysis, and to get several publications in a short period of time. So here in the first picture, it's my oncology group. Then in the second, the cardiology group. Then we have neurology teams. We have anesthesiology teams, the surgical oncology, and the internal medicine group. And what happens after the expert program happens? So we start receiving a lot of publications. For example, Camila Guida, she is an expert in cardiology, and her team had 4 abstracts accepted at the American Heart Association conference last year. Chris, I told you guys about her. She is a OB-GYN, and her team is very productive, and she had with her students several publications as well. Stefan, who is a radiologist, he is completing his training in radiology at Stanford, and his students had achieved so many publications. Here are just some examples. And one of our most impressive results are from Sarah. Sarah is an anesthesiologist, and she and her group had 12 abstracts in the World Congress of Anesthesia with 6 oral presentations. Isn't this fantastic? I am impressed. And this is Sergio Mazzola. He is at Cleveland Clinic, and he is an expert in general surgery. And it was very nice because he and his team got several publications, and he appeared in this journal Forbes in the 30 under 30 because of his academic performance and his scientific achievement in terms of publications. This is Guilherme D'Agostin. He is Brazilian and one of our cardiologist experts. And now in February, he and his team just had this amazing publication in the Heart Rhythm journal, which is a very important journal in cardiology. We also started this year with so many good news. This is Gilmara. She's an expert in gastroenterology, and she had a publication in the British Journal of Anesthesia in January, and another publication with her student team in the endoscopy in February. And how about me? So you guys learned from me that I had no publications, let's say 2-3 years ago. And then I joined the Meta-Analysis Academy. I finished my first meta-analysis and I became an expert in oncology. I worked with wonderful students. And after that, my team and I got 8 publications in PubMed. And I have now more than 19 citations. And these are my students. So some of my students are missing in this photo because they were not in Madrid at that time, but the first author of one of our projects won the best poster in the European Congress, and each one of them had a poster as first author. And this is, I think, being an expert, this is the most rewarding part, because I didn't have this opportunity when I was in medical school. So I'm so happy to see them building a strong curriculum and being able to present their own work in an international conference so early in their career. And the Meta-Analysis Academy and the Experts Program is not only a great opportunity to learn, research, and publish, but it's also a fantastic opportunity to build your network. With my research group and with my students, we had partnership with senior authors from several places in the world, from United States, Brazil, Portugal, Canada, Belgium, from several places. And this is really nice because after you start publishing your work and inviting senior authors from everywhere to publish with you, they will get to know you, and then they will talk about you to other people, and other people will reach out to invite you. Oh, let's do I heard you know how to do meta-analysis, and I need someone to help me. Can you work on this? Can we work together? And after that, it's fantastic because it will just grow and grow, and your network, you will get to know people that otherwise you wouldn't know if you just do research locally. Here is a great example of this. This is Isabella. Isabella is a 50-year medical student from Brazil, and her first meta-analysis is this one about COVID outcomes in patients with sickle cell disease, and it was published at the Clinical Medicine Journal, which is part of the Lancet Discovery Science. And she besides this one, she had other, I think she have already done 5 meta-analyses so far. And with her publication and her commitment to do research, she was accepted for a visit in the International Center of Research in Cancer in France. And so I hope you guys could understand how the program works, and this is my team that works in the backstage to make it all happen. But what if I join the Meta-Analysis Academy course and I'm not selected to the experts program? Don't get despair. So if you are not selected to the experts program, we have other amazing opportunities for you to build your group and complete your meta-analysis and have the support you need to do research. We have you can do research with a group of friends. You can build group of friends within our community, and we also have another process where we build a group of interests. And to give you an example, when I did the Meta-Analysis Academy in the first course, I was not in the experts team, and my first meta-analysis I did by the common interest group. So within the Meta-Analysis Academy, I was sorted for a group of people interested in oncology, and they helped me to do my first meta-analysis. And here is another example. This is Julia. She is a sixth-year medical student from Brazil. And within the Meta-Analysis Academy, she got to know other people interested in neurology, in neurosurgery. And she got this amazing publication in this top-ranked journal, Neurosurgery, with people that she didn't know previously. And she also presented her work as first author in San Francisco, in the neurosurgery conference. And then, just to give you another example, my second meta-analysis was with a group of friends that I met within the Meta-Analysis Academy too. It was not in the experts program. And here I want to share with you other examples of people that within this community, enjoy this community to make friends and to work together and to achieve great goals, great publications. So here in the first publication that was published in the European Journal of Pediatrician, Marquez, Isabella Calvi, and Sarah were friends, and they joined the Meta-Analysis Academy together, and they keep working on their projects to get publications together. And in the other side, we have just yesterday, Dr. Almeida Balieiro and 6 students from Meta-Analysis Academy received the best email, the email that everybody wants, saying that your submission, that the journal have accepted your article for publication. And the 6 students, they didn't know each other before the Meta-Analysis Academy. Each one of them is from a different place in the world, and they met within our community and did this amazing work. So by now, I hope you are so excited about the experts program as I am, and this is a fantastic opportunity for you to develop your research skills and get several publications in a short period of time, to develop your leadership ability, because your leadership skills, because you have to develop an idea and to take the lead for this idea from the beginning to the end. It's a great opportunity for mentoring, to work with a mentor in the medical field that you wanna work in the future. It is a great opportunity to develop communication skills and teamwork, and to build your own networking. And our groups, not only the groups within the experts program, but within the Meta-Analysis Academy, our goal is to achieve excellence, to do really impactful publications, to learn the method, and to achieve great results. But we also have fun. So after this picture is in Madrid, in Spain. After the European conference, we had a great dinner with all people from Meta-Analysis Academy. This is a great community. I'm really happy to be part of it, and I invite you to join. And I want to see you in the experts program. Thank you so much.
Hey, Maisa, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Wow, that was great. And congratulations for your leadership in the experts program. Guys, I really want to emphasize the leadership role that Maisa has had in building this program. When she joined the Meta-Analysis Academy, we're still very early in our history, and the experts program was just started. And really, with her leadership, in more than 1 year right now, she's built a very successful network of pairing experts with students from our program. And she showed you some of the fantastic results. And that's just a small sample of what the experts program has achieved under the leadership of Maisa Wilbert. Maisa, thank you so much for your presentation, for all your efforts in the program. And I look forward to more with this group that's going to join us in the next edition of the Meta-Analysis Academy. Hey, do you want to share with us I know you're working on experts for the next edition. Do you want to just share with us some secrets that you're working on for the next edition of the program? Maybe some of the experts that you already recruited, or whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I don't want to jump ahead of myself here.
Oh, this is top secret, but I think I can give you some spoiler.
Okay.
So for the next edition, we already have some great people. We have already recruited more than 40 experts for this edition in several different specialties. And we have experts from, of course, Brazil, from Brazil, from the United States, from Germany. We have new experts from Germany. We have experts from India. We have experts from Canada. It's going to be great. I really want to see you come work with us.
It's funny how like every edition of the program, I'm amazed about how Maisa is able to build and grow a program that's already like outstanding. Last edition, we had 50 experts. Now she's still in the planning phase. She's still interviewing and selecting the experts, and she's already at 40. So again, Maisa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great
See you guys.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Maisa. Guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to keep going here. And we're going to talk about scientific writing, okay? So before we go on, actually, I want to ask you guys, just to make sure, because I didn't emphasize that enough, this is one of the most important classes in the program, because whether you join the Meta-Analysis Academy or not, I really hope that you would, but it's really important that you learn how to write. You know, despite all the struggles of doing research, you know, it is eventually you guys will do some sort of research. And what I'm going to teach you right now will be an important pillar for you to be able to write well and effectively. So I want you guys to share the link with your friends. Just grab the link and send it in your WhatsApp groups. Invite your colleagues to participate with you, because now we're going to talk about something that's applicable to each and every one of you. Well, everything is, but this one specifically, because you're going to learn how to do the writing of the methods, results, discussion, introduction. This is really transformative. So I want you to share the link with your friends, and I'll be very grateful for that. All right, let's get on with it. Let's talk about scientific writing and our Meta Writer program. Okay, so guys, let's get right into it. This class was prepared with our director of Meta Writer. Her name is Patricia Marcolin. Patricia couldn't be here today, but she helped me to prepare this class. She's a former student of the Meta-Analysis Academy herself. She just graduated medical school a few weeks or a few months ago. And within her last year of medical school, after taking the Meta-Analysis Academy, Patricia published at least 8 papers, okay? I may be wrong, there may be more, but I know of at least 8. And Patricia stood out in our program, and now she leads the Meta Writer program, which is a program to support our students in their scientific writing. So I'm going to share here some of her slides and show you some of her work. So I'm really grateful for Patricia's help, even though she couldn't be here today to present to you guys. Let's get right to scientific writing. Guys, scientific writing is a really important part of the process. It's class number 9 in the Meta-Analysis Academy, and then class number 10 is all about the submission to the journals. So we're going to talk about both of these processes here, writing the paper and then dealing with the reviewers, okay? This is going to be a quick overview, but really important points for you guys to be aware of. Okay, so let's talk about writing your paper, especially if you're writing it for the first time. You don't know how to do this before. Really important that you understand these pillars that I'm going to share with you. First of all, the direction in which you write your paper is not the same one in which it is presented. You don't start a paper by the introduction. You start it by the methods. You do first methods, then results. Then you do introduction and discussion, and finally conclusion. Why is this? Because the methods and results are so easy to write. They're so easy, and you gain momentum. And your introduction and discussion is going to be based on, obviously, on what you did, on what your work is. So first start off by doing methods, then go to results, then you do introduction and discussion. So let's talk first about writing methods. Methods in a meta-analysis is super easy to write. It's so easy. It literally takes like 4 hours to write an entire paragraph on methods once you know how to do this well. It's so quick because on methods, you're essentially describing what you did. How did you do it? Okay, so methods, when you write methods, it's all about classes number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to talk about your research question, class number 2 as well. You're going to talk about the eligibility criteria, which is step number 3. You're going to speak about your search strategy in the literature. You're going to speak about the databases that you search, the study screening, the data extraction, and the statistical analysis. Again, this is what you did already. You're not going to write a paper if you haven't done the work in a meta-analysis before, if you don't have the data, if you don't have the idea. So it's already done. Now you just have to put it in paper. And it's really just about these putting on paper these 6 steps. When you write method in the meta-analysis, these are going to be your paragraphs: eligibility criteria, search strategy, data collection, risk of bias, and statistical analysis. You're literally going to divide methods in these subtopics. I'm going to show you an example. This is from Fernando. Remember, all the publications that I showed you yesterday and today, we're probably at more than 100 now. All these publications are from the students of the Meta-Analysis Academy, students like yourself who did not have any prior research experience or scientific writing experience or statistical experience. So now Fernando published on early ambulation versus prolonged bed rest. Yesterday, I showed you how he even came up with this idea. He saw a publication and he jumped on that idea of doing a meta-analysis on the same topic. So let's look at how he wrote his methods in the paper. Look, methods. Now, you can also call methods material and methods. It doesn't matter. It's whatever the journal prefers. So in this case, he called it material and methods. It could also be just methods. That's not the point. But look at how there are subtopics. The first one is eligibility criteria. That's class number 3 of the Meta-Analysis Academy, class number 2 and 3. So on eligibility criteria, you're just going to outline your question. Hey, listen, we want to include just randomized control trials. We want to look at early ambulation as our intervention. And we're going to compare it with prolonged bed rest for more than 24 hours. That's our control group. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. That's the P code question. And then who's the study population? Patients who have incidental durotomies during spine surgery and who report at least one of the outcomes of interest. So those are your eligibility criteria. That's how studies get into your meta-analysis. It's what you did for classes 2 and 3. Then you have to describe the search strategy. That's class number 4 and 5. Look, we searched PubMed, we searched NBase, we searched Cochrane for studies that met the inclusion criteria. And these were our search terms. So you already did that. It's so easy to put it on paper. You already did it. So writing it down takes you like 30 minutes for each of these paragraphs, 15 minutes, because it's so quick. You already did all the work. You're just writing down what you did. It's like, I went to the park yesterday, and then you write about what you did in the park. And here's the same thing. You already did all of this. Next, you're going to talk about the endpoints. What are your outcomes of interest? Hey, I'm comparing incidental durotomies when they have prolonged bed rest or early walking. So the outcomes that I'm interested are not like heart attack. It has nothing to do with this question. The outcomes are respiratory complications, need for another surgery, hypotensive headache. Those are the outcomes that are important to this topic. If I'm doing a paper in cardiology, it might be death, heart attacks, strokes. Those are important outcomes. If you're doing a paper in infectious diseases, it might be clearing the blood cultures. Whatever outcomes are important to you, you will write down here in this paragraph in your methods. And look how short it is. It's so short. It's so quick. This will take you 3 minutes to write. Now, next you have to talk about statistical analysis. On statistical analysis, you're probably wondering, gosh, how am I ever going to write statistical analysis? You don't know how to write it now because you don't know how to do statistics. But once you know how to do statistics, you're really going to be able to do this independently. And if you do statistics independently, you can write about statistics independently. This is the easiest thing to do once you know how to do statistics, which is also simple. Okay, next we're going to talk about results. Methods just took us 2 hours to write. It's so quick. Next, results. It's another quick section. Guys, results is just writing down the outcomes of your search strategy and your statistical analysis. What were the findings? So that's why we do methods and results first, because it's so easy. There are only three components in results. There are only three components in the results of a meta-analysis. Number one, what were the results of the search and the triage process? Not what you were going to do, that's methods, but what you actually did. Okay? All right? Okay, next. Guys, before I keep going, my team here is asking me to let you guys know that a lot of you are sending us text to our admins in the groups asking for registration questions. So later on today, at the end of this, we're going to do a full recap of the publication roadmap. And then I'm going to tell you guys the special offer to join the Meta-Analysis Academy. Okay? I'll also, when I'm done here, I'm going to open up a live stream on Instagram to answer your questions. So it's very important that you stay until the end. You have to learn about the principles of writing here. But if you're interested in registering for the Meta-Analysis Academy, you have to wait until the end. I'm going to do a recap, and I'm going to tell you guys all about that. And I'm also going to answer questions live for you guys one-on-one on Instagram at the end of our session here. Okay, so back to this. So remember, I was telling you that we have three components in the results: the search results, the baseline characteristics of each included study, and the statistical results, the actual outcome results. Okay, so that's what we're going to look into right now. So before I explain to you guys those specific points, I want you to know that if you join the Meta-Analysis Academy, you all will have access to the publication drive. The publication drive is a folder that has dozens and dozens, probably more than 50 or potentially even 100 templates for writing abstracts, writing cover letters to journals, writing rebuttal letters to reviewers, writing figures and tables, writing methods, doing all these different components of a meta-analysis. So our support to you is on your own projects, but we also give you templates for you guys to do your work more effectively, quicker, better. Okay? So you're going to have templates for what I'm going to show you. For example, figure one. I'm going to show you right now in this paper from Patricia. Remember, I told you Patricia, who's our director of meta writers. Patricia, guys, was a med student when she did this. Still in medical school, and she published as first author in a journal called Surgical Laparoscopic Endoscopy. Okay, and she published with one of our experts. You just heard from Maisa about the experts program. She's published with Sergio Mazzola, who is a surgeon in the United States. Look at this paper from Patricia. There's a figure there that outlines the triage process. This is going to be on each meta-analysis, and we have a template for this in our publication drive. So you're going to have, for example, how many studies did you find in each database? After excluding duplicates, how many were you left with? And then you're going to put in a figure the triage process that you do in class number 6. Class number 6 is about study triage in the Meta-Analysis Academy. So now you're just going to put this in a figure. Next, you're going to look at this other publication by Liz. Liz is also a medical student. She's published this paper here in the American Journal of Cardiology. Liz had a table 1. All meta-analysis will have a table 1 describing the baseline characteristics of each included study. In this paper by Liz, she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 studies. So there's a table 1 that outlines each and every one of these eight papers. What are the number of patients? What are the characteristics, the age of the patients? How many were women? How many had heart attacks before? So this is outlining the baseline characteristics of each study. And then we have one final component of the meta-analysis, which is the actual meta-analysis results, which is the outcomes, the forest plots. So remember, methods is super easy. Methods has those different subsections that I showed you. And then results is also easy. Results only has 3 components: triage, table 1 with baseline characteristics, and results. Results. Okay, so here by Antonio Mutarelli. Antonio is, guys, he presented at American Heart Association a poster, and he's going to the American College of Cardiology in a few weeks. He just sent me a message yesterday saying if we could meet up in Atlanta for the American College of Cardiology. He has an oral presentation there. He's a 4th-year medical student, okay? So in this publication by Antonio, he did this forest plot, and then he wrote about it in the results and put the figure. And this is so easy to do, so easy to build. You are going to become very good at doing statistics, generating pretty graphs. You're going to learn from Pedro, from Douglas, from Maisa, from like our statistical experts and myself. You're going to learn how to do these graphs and put them in your results. Next, after you've done methods and results, you're going to go to the introduction. The introduction is all about the controversy. It's all about what's already known, what's not known, and what you're going to do to fix it. So the introduction is also pretty easy to write. The introduction only has 3 to 4 paragraphs, and you're going to divide it into 3 things: what is already known about the topic, what is not known, what is the controversy, what is the uncertainty about this topic that you want to explore. Remember, I told you guys yesterday on developing ideas, what is the secret ingredient to a good ideas for meta-analysis? Controversy. So you got to bring the controversy to the introduction. You got to say why you're doing this. Why is this an important topic that needs to be explored? And then you're going to finish off with what you're going to do to fix that controversy. What you're going to do to move the field further, one step further. Let's look at an example. This is from Sarah and Raphael. These are students from the Meta-Analysis Academy. All the publications I showed you, hundreds, dozens, are all students. Some are doctors, some are interns, some are first-year medical students. No matter what your prior experience is, no matter your time, these people are all very busy. No one has free time. No one here has took a break from exams to do this publication. All right, if you're waiting, oh, I have my exams, it's probably because you're not ready to commit. If you're not ready to commit to learning this, don't join the Meta-Analysis Academy. We don't want people who are not committed to the process. You really have to be really interested. You have to be committed to getting this work done. If this doesn't matter to you, then don't register. It's really for people who want to publish and advance their career, who want to put this in a priority. But if you are one of these people, look what you can do. You can write an introduction like this one. What is known about the subject? What is not known about the subject? What we're going to do about it? What is our plan for this? Look, guys, to bridge this knowledge gap, we performed a systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials, comparing infraclavicular and costoclavicular blocks in patients undergoing distal upper extremity surgery. So that's what we're going to do about it. What we know, what we don't know, or what's the controversy, and then what we're going to do about that. It's so easy to write an introduction. This will take you 1 to 2 hours also. Next, discussion. Now, the discussion requires a little bit more work. I'm not gonna lie to you. The discussion, you're gonna have to work hard for it. The other parts are super easy. I mean, you can really get by them in a breeze. The discussion is your findings in the context of the past and the future of the field. But there are 2 paragraphs in the discussion that are very easy. There are 2 paragraphs, the first and the last, which are very easy. It's just the middle. It's just the middle that's hard. The first paragraph, you're going to summarize the results. You're not going to rewrite all the results. You're just going to summarize the most important results. That's first paragraph. The last paragraph is limitations. And those are very easy to write. Straightforward, 1 paragraph done first, 1 paragraph done last. It's what's in the middle, the 2, 3, 4, or 5 paragraphs in between the first and the last. So over here, you're going to give it context. You're going to interpret the findings. You're going to mention the implications of the findings. That's what's in the introduction, in the discussion in the middle. Let's see an example, okay? This is from one of our students, from Antonio, the publication on modified Atkins diet to prevent seizures in patients with epilepsy. So look what Antonio wrote for his first paragraph. He said, look, first paragraph of the discussion. In this meta-analysis of 575 patients in 6 randomized controlled trials, we evaluated the efficacy and tolerability of modified Atkins diet versus usual diet to reduce seizure frequency in pediatric patients. That's so easy. He's just restating the PCOD question. He mentioned the population, the intervention, the control, how many patients, how many RCTs. The main results were 1, 2, and 3. Realize he didn't talk about all the results in the first paragraph of the discussion. He just summarized the results. And that's easy to do. The first paragraph of the discussion is super easy. You're just going to summarize the results in this format. It's exactly how I teach in the Meta-Analysis Academy. The main results were, and then you number them, 1, 2, 3, no more than 4. Okay, next. Last paragraph. This is limitations. This is also easy. Last paragraph is all about, look, we did a great paper. It's phenomenal. You should accept it for publication, but it's got some problems too, and we want to be very transparent about it. So you want to talk about the limitations. Every meta-analysis should have a last paragraph of the discussion that says the limitations. So first of all, this, and that. Second of all, we don't have this, and that. Now, we don't did this, and that. So you want to be very clear about the limitations in your study. But then comes the hard part. Then comes the hard work of writing. But 90% of the paper or 80% is done at this point. You really just have to work hard for the last 20%. Everything else is ready. Now you have to really talk about those middle paragraphs of the discussion. Those middle paragraphs of the discussion are tough. What's the meaning of the findings? How does this relate to the rest of the literature? What comes next? What are some future directions in the field? And we teach you guys how to do these in the Meta-Analysis Academy, but those are harder to do. Okay? Now, next, we have the conclusion. In the conclusion, you're going to restate your PCOD question. In the conclusion, you're going to restate your PCOD question. Look at the example. This is Fernando's work. In patients with incidental durotomies during spine surgery, that's the population. Early mobilization, that's the intervention. Compared with prolonged bed rest, that's the control group. Reduced pulmonary complications, no difference in CSF leak, no difference in the need for additional surgery. That's the results. And that's it. And that's it. After you're done with your paper, after you wrote in that order, methods, discussion, introduction, methods, results, intro, discussion, conclusion, you're going to submit it to a journal. How are you going to pick the journal? There are many principles that I'll teach you in the Meta-Analysis Academy. The most important principle is don't send it to an open access journal to pay a fee. Don't do that. You can publish it for free. I told you guys about that yesterday. But once you submit, you're going to need to submit with a cover letter. We have templates for that in our program. You're going to need to submit a rebuttal letter when they ask for a review. We have templates for that as well. We give you all the support in the submission. Remember, that's class 10 of the Meta-Analysis Academy. Submission to journals. And then to finalize this class, before we recap the whole program, I want to tell you guys about our Meta Writer program. Now, I want you to know that the Meta Writer program that I will explain to you right now lives inside our community called Meta Hub. And I'm going to explain to you what Meta Hub is. So guys, Meta Hub is our community of former students. Once you finish the Meta-Analysis Academy, you will have the opportunity to remain within our community of dedicated students that publish a lot in Meta Hub. And what are the advantages of joining this Meta Hub community? Well, in Meta Hub, you will get continued access to the classes. You still maintain access to the lectures, to the recorded lectures, for as long as you're in the community. But in Meta Hub, we also give you support on your individual projects. You can bring them to our tutoring sessions. We can help you with statistics. We can help you with the writing. And we do these sprints for specific meetings. So we just finished a sprint in Meta Hub to the American Society of Clinical Oncology. So everyone that wanted to send an abstract to that meeting got together in research groups inside Meta Hub and prepared abstracts to submit there. So Meta Hub is a very active community of former students. And within Meta Hub, we provide support for our students in their writing in a program called Meta Writers. Patricia, who prepared this lecture here, is the director of Meta Writers. And in the Meta Writer program, we review your papers before you submit to a journal. Patricia, her team, myself, we review your methods, your grammar, the coherence, the figures, the tables, the cover letter, the rebuttal letter if you get asked for one. We support you throughout that entire peer review process. And our Meta Writer program has been incredibly successful. Many of our students' publications go through the Meta Writer program. And if you were to hire, do you know how much it would cost for you to hire a dedicated reviewer of your paper? Just one paper. It would cost probably in the order of $200 to $500 for someone to review one of your papers to submit to the whatever journal you're interested in. For example, the hernia, a great general surgery journal. For example, rhinology, a great otorhinolaryngology surgery. Yesterday, we had a publication of our team in the European Journal of Pediatrics. So if you want to review your paper, to submit there, you want to hire someone just to review, not to do it for you, just to review it. It's going to cost you that much. In the Meta Writers, it doesn't cost you. It's included in the Meta Hub community. We don't charge extra for the Meta Writer process. It's included. You join our team and you have your papers reviewed by our team before you submit. Very, very clear. We don't do it for you. We tell you what needs to be improved. Okay? And this program has been very successful. And of course, that everything I talked to you about is explained in a lot more detail in classes number 9 and number 10 of the Meta-Analysis Academy. Remember that every single lecture is not just a lecture, it's an exercise. You do a lecture, a lab exercise, and then you do CPT, which is the live discussion where I discuss the exercise with you guys. Okay? All right, so that's a wrap on class number 6. What we're going to do right now is a major recap of the program, and then we're going to finish day 2. But before I do that, as I load my slides here, I want you guys to take a quick listen here to Isabella.
Had so many frustrations in this research world and trying to get some opportunities, that so many times, so many challenges, so many hurdles. I didn't get the results that I wanted. I was frustrated with that. I started looking for some opportunities that I could be independent. And then finally, I found out about the course, about Meta Academy. And since then, I'm so grateful about everything.
Guys, for those of you who don't know, the European Society of Cardiology is the largest meeting in cardiology globally. There were 30,000 people registered for this meeting. That's more people than this city I grew up in Brazil.
After the presentation, there were a lot of people who came to me at the end of the session and congratulated me. So I was very happy about it. And the one thing that was like game changing for me, it was that at the end of my presentation, when I said it, I noticed that someone had tweeted me, and I was like, who's this person? And when I saw, it was like a picture of my presentation with a test in Twitter. And at the end of the session, this person came to me. It was a woman, and she said that she was the senior editor of The Lancet, which is one of the biggest journals around the world. And she congratulated me. She said that it was a brilliant presentation, and she asked me if I wanted to send my paper to them. And I was like, yeah, of course. So we had very great feedback in both presentations. This one was the remote monitoring, but the one of Joel, it was very great too. Everyone really liked it.
All right, guys, we're going to keep going here now for the wrap-up session here, okay? Let's go ahead. So this is it. This is the home stretch of the Meta-Analysis Academy, of the publication roadmap. Day 2 comes to an end right now. And in this presentation, I'm going to summarize the whole thing. I'm going to summarize the highlights, add some additional information to you. So it's really important that for the next 30 minutes, you do nothing else but really focus on this, because it could be transformative in your career like it was for me. So we're going to recap the publication roadmap, okay? We talked about on day 1 all these different topics, how publications are really important to you. I told you about how to overcome the barriers for research. I told you the 10-step method for you to publish independently. Today, we talked about our Meta Master Goal, the research groups and experts program with Maisa. We just finished talking about scientific writing. And now we're going to recap the whole thing, and we're going to recap the publication roadmap. I'm going to start off with this great picture here. In our introduction video today, you saw a speech of John F. Kennedy, at least a small part of it. That was the year 1962 in Texas. He was speaking to a large audience, convincing the American people that they had to go to the moon. He said these very famous words. He said, listen, we choose to go to the moon. And he repeated that. We choose to go to the moon, to emphasize it. And then he said, and we choose that and other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. So that's the key message that I want to share here with you guys. This that I'm showing you is not easy to do. Get publications. You guys have struggled so much. It's not easy at all. But if you really want to do it, if you are frustrated with no opportunities in your local school, in your own country, if you've tried to find mentors and you haven't found them, if you don't know how to do statistics, if you don't know how to build your ideas, and if you want to move forward in your career and you are committed, you will get there. Just like JFK said it. We choose to go to the moon and do the other things and do publications, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And then he said something else really important. He says, because this is a challenge, we are unwilling to postpone. It's so important to us that we can't do it later. And like I said, if this is not important for you enough that you think that you can do it later, don't join. Don't join. You're not going to get results. If you think that you have to focus on your exams first, or you have to wait 6 more months, if you can wait 1 more year, it's probably not for you. This is for people who are committed. John F. Kennedy said, and this is a challenge we are unwilling to postpone and one we intend to win. So if you intend to win in this career challenge of getting publications, of advancing your career, you should join the Meta-Analysis Academy. And I want you to go back to this first slide that I had yesterday, day one. I said, my name is Randerson Cardozo. I'm a cardiologist in Boston, and I teach doctors and medical students all over the world to conduct high-impact publications with autonomy to help them achieve their career goals. And I want to remind you that I don't do this just for 6 months or just for 1 year. I have been doing this for 10 years. Some of the presentations that you see here are for people that have been publishing after they learned with me for years and years, like Jilson, who I showed you. Okay? So I have currently in my career 74 publications in my own career, in my own PubMed. But what brings me most joy in my career is the results of my students. Okay? And this is what it has given me. This is what these publications has helped me to achieve in my career. 1,500 citations. Okay? Training at the University of Miami. Chief resident at the University of Miami. Cardiology fellowship at the Johns Hopkins Hospital. Fellowship in imaging, chief fellow at Harvard Medical School. Remember, the publication roadmap is not affiliated with these institutions. Speaker in the best conferences in cardiology, writing book chapters for the most important books in cardiology. And these are the numbers of people who followed in the same track. These are the numbers updated from February. It's different than what I showed you yesterday because we hadn't updated the February numbers yet. We have 1,154 participations in abstracts from our students all over the world. 623 participations in peer-reviewed publications. And we're going to help you get yours as well. And you're going to help us achieve our goal of 3,000 in 3 years. We have 1 year and a few months to go, and we still need to step up our game. We're at around 1,800 approximately. So what you really need in your career is to get your name there on PubMed to advance your career. Because the publication roadmap and what I showed you is not just about publications. It's about careers. And remember, everything that I show you here today and that I showed you yesterday, you can verify it. You can go to PubMed and look at these publications. These are not made up. These are not subjective feelings of having learned research. This is real. These are real publications. Everything that I showed you here is objectively verifiable. These are med students. These are first year. These are residents. These are interns. These are doctors. These are PhDs that have published. And they use these publications like I use them, like they have helped me, is what I mean, to advance my career. The publication roadmap and what I showed you is about careers. Is about avoiding being victim to a system that is not fair to the amount of work you put in to be a doctor. And this is Canada and the United Kingdom because it's English. They are English-speaking countries, but really it could be anywhere in the world. You could find these headlines. You can find them in Brazil. You can find them, I'm sure, in India. You can find them in any country. But you don't have to be average. Listen, I'm not minimizing the importance of fighting for improvements for doctors as a whole. What junior doctors are doing in the United Kingdom right now is highly, highly valuable. But what I'm saying is you can go beyond that. You can also go so high, way above average, that the average becomes irrelevant to you individually. You can have a career of excellence. So whatever your goal may be, competitive residency in the United States, match in residency anywhere else, research fellowship, become a professor, do a master's, do a PhD, whatever your goal may be, you need to start working on your publications now, because on that day, in 5 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, that you need to apply for these positions, on that D-Day, you need to have these done. Yesterday, someone sent me a message on Instagram stories saying, hey, Randerson, I'm going to start cardiology fellowship. And in a few years, I'm going to apply for electrophysiology. It's another fellowship in cardiology. I'm going to join the Meta-Analysis Academy. Is it going to help me? Of course. Of course. The day you need publications, it's too late to start doing publications. The time to start it is now, when you're first or second year resident, when you're an intern, we're in residency. You are late already, most of you, okay? So on that day, it will not matter if you did any research. Oh, I worked on research. I did some case reports. I spent hours and hours, days, months, and weeks collecting data from charts. I worked on projects that stayed forever on the ethics committee, on the institutional review board. I presented in my medical school symposium. That won't matter. What will matter that day is authority in publications. Publications that matter. Like the ones from Isabella. You heard Maisa talking about Isabella. I showed you her video. Isabella, guys, is a medical student. Her publications has already opened so many doors in her career. She published in Clinical Medicine, a Lancet journal. She went to France. I think Maisa mentioned that. Yesterday we were joking around in our community because she was referenced by a journal in France, talking about her research findings. So now we're saying that the Meta-Analysis Academy is famous in French too. I should have put it up on the screen here. I don't have it immediately to show you guys. But there was this a journal discussion about, or headline talking about Isabella's work and publication. She's still a med student. If you want to present in conferences like Isabella did, present in the best conferences of your specialty. European Society of Medical Oncology for Maisa and for Isabella. If you're interested in cardiology, you should aim for these three: American College, American Heart, European Society. This one in London in August, the deadline for submission of abstracts was last Friday, was 2 days ago. Our students from the Meta-Analysis Academy, just the ones that I reviewed, just the abstracts that I reviewed over 10 abstracts. Those are just the ones that I reviewed. There are plenty of people that submit without my own review because they've become independent. But what I mean by review is that within our Meta Writer program, we help them review, we review their abstracts. But don't stay just in the conferences. You want to collect that maximum trophy of your research efforts, which is the publication in PubMed. This is publication by Tomas. He's applying for residency in the United States. He has 15 interviews for residency. Publications, strong ones like this one in the British Journal of Hematology. So why? Because they're meta-analysis. Okay, you want to publish impactful work, not like case reports. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do any case reports, but you have to understand that the value is very limited. The value of case reports is very limited. Excuse me. But you can achieve this, no matter what your troubles have been so far. Luana published in the Journal of Critical Care. Julia published in one of the top neurosurgery journals in the world. Rafael published in the European Journal of Trauma and Emergency Surgery. Rodrigo published in the Archives of Endocrinology. Look, these are not just the first author publications. These publications have 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 co-authors from our group. And then we talked about on day one how you think this is impossible, but it's not. It's not impossible. And this will help you achieve your goals. If you want to come to residency in the United States and you want to do radiology, the average number of publications is 17 for those who match and are international medical graduates like you and me. If you want to match in neurology, the average number is 11. Do you have 11 publications already? Obviously, there are other components in the application. I'm not minimizing the importance of those. You have to have a high step 2 score. Step 1, everyone will pass. 80 to 90% of people pass it on the first time. You shouldn't fail. It's going to really hurt your chances. But if you pass, how is that going to make you stand out? 80 to 90% of people pass. How are you going to stand out among 1,000 applications for 10 positions? 3,000 applications for 5 positions in the most competitive ones. How are you going to stand out? High step 2 score in publications. Oh, but I want to do a research fellowship first. Well, to get a research fellowship, you need to do research. They're going to hire you to do research, so they want to know that you can do research. Carlos is at the University of Michigan. We have Isabella Marquez in the United States. We have Vanessa in the United States. We have Enrique Provinciado, who just got a position at the University of Miami. A lot of our students doing research fellowships because they published meta-analysis first. They labeled themselves as someone who could get research done. If you want to do a master's or a PhD like Kaique, he finished med school and joined the PhD because he had publications. Whatever your goals may be, whatever your goals. This is in residency. I want to get into a competitive fellowship. Yuri is a first-year resident. He works 80 hours a week as a first-year resident, up to 80 hours a week. And he's publishing first author papers. He doesn't have free time. You think he has free time to do this? I didn't. I published 20 in residency. I didn't have any free time. I lived in Miami for 4 years as a resident and chief resident. I didn't go to Miami Beach. I spent time doing research on nights and weekends. And I published 20 papers in 4 years, and I matched at Hopkins. Is this what you want to accomplish? You got to do the work. And here's the opportunity for you to do the work. You're a physician already. You're going to gain authority. You're going to gain respect from your peers in your specialty, like Leonardo, who's a breast cancer doctor, a breast mastology, who like Sarah, who's an anesthesiologist. They have publications. And why don't you have them? Why is it that you think it's impossible? We went over all these barriers. You don't have time. You don't have mentors. You think you got to pay a fee. These are all wrong. You can't overcome all of this. We talked about not having time. Meta-analysis are quick. They're super quick. That's why a resident in first-year resident can do one. Why is that, guys? We talked about this. Meta-analysis is the quantitative synthesis of studies that are similar to each other. You don't have to get informed consent from patients. You don't have to go to the ethics committee. You don't have to call patients. You don't have to open patient charts. So it's fast-paced. This one here, I did it in 5 to 7 weeks as a second-year resident in internal medicine. I wasn't a cardiologist yet. A meta-analysis, the quantitative synthesis of studies that are similar to each other. And they are the gateway, the pathway for you to publish high-impact papers with autonomy. If you want to learn how to publish high-impact papers without having to fall a victim to the system that doesn't allow you to, learn how to do meta-analysis. They're quick. I showed you examples. Patricia did it in 7 weeks. Rodrigo in 3 months. Lucas in 2 weeks. Yuri is a resident, I told you. It's quick. It's fast once you learn it. You choose your mentors. You don't have to rely on anyone else. I told you that Tomas invited one of his attendings during observership. He worked with someone for 1 week or 2 weeks and invited that person to be his co-author on one of his observership's rotations. You don't have to pay any publication fee if you do a good paper and submit it to a journal that is not open access. Meta-analysis statistics are very simple. We talked about that. You don't need any institutional support. Andre didn't have support from his medical school. Vanessa didn't. Rafael didn't. No one here had support from the medical school, from their dean, financial support, mentorship locally. No, they learned it in our group, in our community. You can have research ideas. That's another barrier, but you can have research ideas. It doesn't matter your level of training. Look at Carol. I told you she's a first year med student. She knows nothing about gynecology yet. She knows nothing about polycystic ovarian syndrome yet. She's a first year. She's learning biochemistry and anatomy, which she published as first author in the European Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. And that's not just her example. I showed you Lais. I could have showed you our other Carol, Carolini, Larissa, and so many others. With meta-analysis, you can create strong research groups. Look at this. 8 students from the Meta-Analysis Academy publishing together. 5 students from the Meta-Analysis Academy publishing together. They didn't know each other before. They met in our group. Julia, Chantal, Jessica, Anna, Carol, Fernando, Gabriela, and Matthew. They all met inside our group. You're going to form strong research groups like Tiago, Maísa, Jonathan, Isabella. Okay? You guys are going to learn how to do this yourselves. What is a meta-analysis? It's the quantitative synthesis of studies that are similar to each other. And that's the map. The roadmap, the publication roadmap is learning how to do meta-analysis. And this is the way. 10 different steps. You learn the ideas. You learn how to build the research question. You test the viability. You don't want to waste 6 months or a year on a project that's not going to help you get published. You build the search strategy correctly. You look at all the different databases. You do the triage. And then you extract the data. You run the statistical analysis. You write the paper. And you submit it to a journal. Those are the 10 steps. If you learn how to do each one of them, you're going to learn how to do this with autonomy. And that's exactly what we teach you in the Meta-Analysis Academy. First, so let's go over how the program works, and then I have a special offer for you at the end. First thing, you're going to go into an introduction module. Randy, I don't even know what's a confidence interval yet. It's okay, we'll teach you first. Randy, I don't know how to search PubMed yet. It's okay, we'll teach you that. I don't know what's a cohort study, what's a randomized controlled trial. We'll teach you that. I don't know anything about statistics. We'll teach you the basics. You watch the lectures in the introduction module first, then you join the program, the 10-step program. And for each of these steps, you have 3 components. This is so important. You have to put in the work. You got to watch a lecture for each module. You're going to learn on the class about statistics. You're going to watch a lecture on statistics. So you're going to be familiar now with the concepts, but then you have to put it into action. You just read about it. If you just watch a lecture, we even have a book. We have a meta-analysis book for our students. But if you just read it about it in the book, if you just watch the lecture, you're not going to learn. You have to do the exercise. We'll give you a real world example of a meta-analysis that I did, that someone else did from our group. And then after you do the exercise, you're going to watch the correction of the exercise in CPT. CPT is a live session that happens every Sunday in the morning for those in the United States and Brazil. If you're in Europe, it's around midday. If you're in the eastern part of the world, it may be later in the day. And if you can't watch it live, you can watch the recording later on. In CPT, I go over the exercise with you. I show you how I do it. These are examples of forest plots that our students did. Our students did these forest plots on lab exercise number 8. They did it after watching the lecture. They ran the codes. They generated the forest plots. You're going to learn how to do this yourself. And then you're going to work in research groups like the ones I showed you. And don't forget to invite your friends to join too. I gave you this example earlier. Isabella Calvi invited Isabella Marquez to participate. They were in Russia and Spain at the time. Now they are in other places in the world. Isabella's in the United States, in Boston, doing a research fellowship. So Isabella Calvi invited the other friend, Isabella. And then another project, Isabella Marquez is first author and invited Isabella Calvi for her work. So you're going to be first author and co-author. You increase your number of publications by doing this. Lais, guys, was a first-year med student at the time she joined the academy. She published this strong paper as a second-year med student. It doesn't matter your specialty. We went over this: cardiology, surgery, oncology, neurology, neurosurgery, psychiatry, nephrology, endocrinology, anesthesia, whatever specialty you're interested in, you can do meta-analysis in that area. And if you join, you're going to help us achieve our goal of 3,000 publications in 3 years. You learn from Maisa about the Experts program. You get paired with amazing mentors from all over the world in different specialties. Yes, you have to apply. You have to submit your ideas. These people are really busy. They're going to work with you on your ideas, on your projects. Oh, but I don't know how to have ideas. Yeah, of course you don't know yet. You haven't joined the Meta-Analysis Academy. You haven't watched lecture number 1. You haven't done the exercise for lecture number 1. You haven't been to CPT for lecture number 1 yet. But when you do, you will have ideas for meta-analysis. And you get to apply for the opportunity to work with these experts from all over the world. You heard Maisa. She already recruited more than 40 experts, and she's still recruiting for this edition. After you do all this, after you learn about ideas, after you know about viability, you will apply for the experts. And if you don't connect with experts, you can connect with others in our community. We create groups between all of our students who are interested in different specialties. We have these common interest groups. And then you get to publish with people like Sergio Mazzola, those who took the course in prior editions. I'm not sure if he will be coming back for this one, but just an example. You can form research groups with your friends, like the both Isabellas. You can form research groups in our community. Look at this. Julia, she was placed in a random group that had an interest in neurosurgery. We just asked people in our community, what's your interest? What's your interest? What's your interest? And those who were interested in neurosurgery came together in a group. Julia presented this work in the Congress of Neurological Surgeons in San Francisco, and she published it in the top-ranking neurosurgical journal. Isabella knew each other. They were friends that did the program together. But then there are multiple people that just meet each other in our group, like this group, like this group. This is from yesterday. This publication was yesterday. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they got this email. They sent it to me. These are people that met each other in the Meta-Analysis Academy. They are not part of a group that I created. They created themselves. They're not part of the experts group. They created this publication. So you can form research groups in many different ways. Then we finally learned about the writing. We talked about writing methods first, then results, introduction, discussion, and conclusion. This is the final step of your meta-analysis, writing the paper and submitting to a journal. We talked about methods. It's what did you do? How did you do it? We talked about how it's super easy to write methods. It's so easy. You already did all the work. Results. What are your findings? There's only 3 things that go in meta-analysis results. The results of the search strategy and triage, the baseline characteristics of each study, and the outcomes and the forest plots. And you have templates for all of this within our community in the publication drive. I taught you guys how to do the introduction, what we don't know, what we know already, what we don't know, and what you're going to do about it. I told you guys how to write the discussion, okay? The first and last paragraph are easy. The ones in the middle, they're tough, and you got to work for it. We'll teach you in the academy. The conclusion is always the PICO question. I talked to you guys about the Meta Writer programs that exist within Meta Hub. And these are the results of people who follow our program. So if you want to join the Meta-Analysis Academy, pay attention to the super special offer. Okay? My team is going to send the registration link. And this offer that we're going to share with you guys is only going to be available today. Today, Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. The full price of registration is 12 installments of $200 US. But if you join the Meta-Analysis Academy today, you will have a special offer to join for 12 installments of $110. Here's a common question I got. A common question I got was, Randerson, if the program is 3 months, why are there 12 installments? You don't have to pay in 12 installments. You could pay the full tuition of the program. You actually get a special discount. The only reason we allow the possibility of 12 installments is because we want to make it easier for you to join. Many of you just don't have $1,200 to participate up front. You're from countries that it's harder to have this amount to register all at once. So I understand. That's why we break it up in monthly installments, if it's easier for you. And now I know some of you are thinking that I'll just do this later. Let me caution you about that. What about all the people you were going to meet this year? What about all the publications you were going to have starting now? What about the networks, the experts you would meet, the community that you would form? The results in meta-analysis are exponential. They're not linear, okay? The results in meta-analysis are linear, are not. The results in meta-analysis are exponential. They're not linear. I'm going to ask my team just to send the link in the chat here for registration. I don't think they put it up there, but they will in just a second. It's also going to be available in the recording, okay? The link, and we'll send it in the groups as well. Guys, the results are not linear. They're exponential. Look at these numbers of citations. They don't follow a linear trajectory. They follow an exponential trajectory. You get better over time. You form research groups. You form networks of collaboration. And you're going to miss out if you leave this for later. Again, if you're not committed to this, don't do it. If you think that it's okay for you not to have publications, if you think you can do it later, just don't do it. This is for people who are committed, people who do it like in the middle of internship, residency, people who really are passionate. They realize that this is a gateway for them to achieve their goals, their career goals. And look at this. What about the cost to prepare for the match? If you want to come to residency in the United States, consider it in perspective. USMLE exam fees, question bank, and other preparation. Just a second, am I serious? So because of all of this, all these different publications, all these different fees, you guys can actually have the cost, the total cost runs up to $15,000, according to ChatGPT. In perspective of how this will change your application, the Meta-Analysis Academy is a bargain. If you want to do this independently, if you were to hire a statistician, this is what ChatGPT says. Typically, a statistician will charge $50 to $250 an hour. I realize it may be cheaper in your own countries, but in the United States, you're going to end up spending a few $1,000, $1,000 maybe, to do someone who runs statistical analysis on one of your projects, just one. Just do it for you. And you still have to do all the other work, the writing, and you're going to learn how to do this independently. Even in Brazil, where the cost is cheaper, one of our students said that before he joined our program, he paid $750 for a statistician to do one project for him. One project, just the statistical part. And you're going to learn how to do this over and over and not rely on anyone else. If you wanted to hire someone to help you writing, ChatGPT says the average range for editing service is 1 cent to 5 cents per word, or if they charge per hour, $25 to $100 per hour. So really, guys, this is a bargain. If you consider that you learn the whole process, you learn all of it, you learn all the different 10 steps of doing a meta-analysis. This is the Meta-Analysis Academy. This is an all-in-one process for you to learn the 10 steps for you to do meta-analysis independently. And again, for today and today only, you will have a special offer to join. Instead of 12 installments of $200 US, you will pay 12 installments of $110. You have the option to add MetaHub at checkout. That option has a 50% discount. You don't have to join MetaHub now, but that price of $9 per month is a 50% discount on MetaHub. If you want to pay it all up front, there's an extra 10% discount. You don't have to. You can pay it in installments. Okay? With that, we come to an end of the publication roadmap. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned it. I hope you will join the Meta-Analysis Academy. If you don't, I still hope this was very useful to you. But if you want to learn how to publish high-impact papers with autonomy, join us for the Meta-Analysis Academy. And I'm going to leave you with those very impactful words of John F. Kennedy. Just listen to this very carefully. And I hope you all guys have a blessed day, a blessed week. And I hope to see you with us in the Meta-Analysis Academy. Look at these publications that you see on the screen, abstracts presented in international meetings worldwide. Maybe you want to do residency in a competitive program. Maybe you want to go to another country, apply for a PhD. Can you imagine how much easier it will be to get there with high impact publications such as these? Believe me, I've been frustrated and disappointed in trying to find research mentors in my career. And I want to show you a different method by which you can get mentors. There's a specific research method that you can apply in your career that will give you results, that you can do it independently, that you can develop an idea, work on it, and even draft the paper. This will open doors of mentorship for you in your institution and beyond.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It's also more than that. The Meta-Analysis Academy is a community of doctors and medical students who have this mindset that they not only want to get publications done, of course that will happen, but they also have this mindset of excellence, of wanting more. So it's these two things. It's the ability to get research done, and it's an environment that will provide the excellence that you look for in your career.
Had so many frustrations in this research world and trying to get some opportunities, that so many times, so many challenges, so many hurdles. I didn't get the results that I wanted. I was frustrated with that. I started looking for some opportunities that I could be independent. And then finally, I found out about the course, about Meta Academy. And since then, I'm so grateful about everything.
So my name is Amanda Godoy. I am a fourth-year medical student at Cardiff University in the United Kingdom. And I got to know the meta-analysis course through social media. But a funny thing that happened was that I was already trying to get out of that world of trying to search for someone to help me with research, a supervisor, someone that would guide me in the field. Hours and hours and hours dedicated to research, and I can never get something out of it. And when the course was launched, the meta-analysis course was launched, and it was honestly the best thing that happened. 3 main points from Meta Academy. The lessons. It seems like a professional is getting you by the hand, taking you through every step of conducting a meta-analysis. So I had never experienced something so detailed, yet so simple at the same time. It's like a puzzle that used to be 5,000 pieces, but then it's compiled to just 10, and you have to focus on those 10. And it just gives you a pathway on how to follow and where to follow and where to get help, where to get guidance. The second one, I think, is the network that you get to know. You have the opportunity to work with other professionals from around the world, professionals that inspire you. And I think that's the best thing, the main thing. You get to work with experts in the field. You get to work with people from the same level as you. You get to work with people from at different levels, from different backgrounds, different experiences, just coming together with this passion for research, this passion for improving their careers. And something really, really awesome happens, really fantastic. Throughout the course, there are several people that are working behind the scenes to help you in your own ideas. Every week, there are loads of mentorships that are being given by different professionals that have done meta-analysis themselves, that have worked with Randerson, and they help you on a one-to-one basis. And I don't think you can get that elsewhere. I am one of the first authors in an observational study that started in January 2020. It's still ongoing. We are still analyzing the results. So it's taken 2 years to to really get to the bottom of it. And when I compare it with the meta-analysis that we were able to write a full paper in 4 weeks, I would say, that's nothing. It's just something that you can't compare it. You can't compare it.
I'm Rafael Lombardi. I did the first class of the Intensiva de Metas. And I can tell I'm assistant professor at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, anesthesiology, and I had amazing results with Dr. Randerson Cardoso course. He really taught everything you ever need to know about systematic reviews and meta-analysis. My experience on research before doing this course was minimal. I had 2 small experimental papers published during med school that was no better than anything you might ever imagine. So I surely can tell my experience with the research was 0. And after doing this course, in 18 months upon my enrollment in the course, I was able to have 3 papers accepted for publications in major journals of anesthesiology, and I really lost track of how many presentations in national meetings. I had 3 papers presented in American Academy of Medicine meeting, 5 presentations for ESRA meeting, some presentations accepted for ward meeting of regional anesthesia. I really don't remember how many, but it was 3 or 4. And I had some more presentations accepted for ASA meeting of this year, 3 or 4, don't remember how many. I really lost track of how many papers accepted for presentations in national meetings. So the course is amazing. Randerson is going to teach you everything you ever need to know about systematic reviews and meta-analysis. It's going to improve your CV. It's going to make your CV way better. And if you intend to apply for residence over in America, definitely this is going to boost your curriculum a lot. And maybe you'll be able to have a view like the one I'm having today.
I began the course thinking that doing a systematic review and meta-analysis was just for experts, but since Professor Henderson explains how to do a systematic review and meta-analysis from scratch, I got to present 2 posters at 2 big conferences.
There are several people to help you in your own ideas, different professionals that have done meta-analysis themselves, and they help you on a one-to-one basis. And I don't think you can get that elsewhere.
Before the academy, I had never even thought that it would be a possibility for me as a medical student to go to a conference of that magnitude, let alone present an abstract at it.
In 18 months upon my enrollment in the course, I was able to have 3 papers accepted for publications in major journals of anesthesiology, and I really lost track of how many presentations in national meetings. Randerson is going to teach you everything you ever need to know about systematic reviews and meta-analysis. It's going to improve your CV. Definitely, this is going to boost your curriculum a lot.